Okay, today's lesson is going to be converting fractions to decimals, and we're going to start with the example of 1/8, which is on page 8, number 2. So the first step is we're going to change the fraction into a division problem. Now you may wonder, when we're changing it to division problem, how do we remember which number goes on the inside, which one goes on the outside? So what has always helped me is I imagine a, let's say, football player, just a person, right, running into this fraction and knocking it over, right? And really, a fraction is division. So if you think of it as a division sign, it helps. But as the player knocks that fraction over, right, the fraction is going to tip over. And when things tip over, the top part falls farther. Okay, so the top part, or the numerator, is going to fall into the division problem, right? And the denominator stays on the outside because it was on the bottom, right? And when like a bookcase falls over, the bottom stays where it is. All right, now the step 2 is we're going to make the decimal visible. Okay, so right now there is a decimal behind that numerator. So we're going to make it visible, and then we're just going to add some placeholders to help us have something to work with when we are dividing. So we're adding some placeholder zeros, right? They're just placeholders, but we're going to add a decimal, we're not adding it, we're just making it visible. It was there. Okay, so football player runs into the fraction. The fraction tips over. The 1 falls in the inside. The 8, the denominator stays on the outside. We're going to make it into division, make that decimal behind the 1 visible, add some placeholders. Now, we're just going to do some division. So first step, when we're dividing with decimals, we need to place the decimal and placeholder 0 like in the quotient. So on the top part of this division problem, we need to, kind of move the decimal up. We're not really moving it, we're just showing like where it should belong. We're going to put the decimal right there and then a placeholder 0 in the front of that problem. Now we're just going to complete with long division. Right, so we're going to do long division until one of two things happens. So one of these two situations will happen with a fraction. Either the quotient will terminate, and you will know that because the remainder will be 0, right? And then since we were just adding placeholder zeros, there's no other numbers after that 0. So the remainder is 0, you're done. Or the quotient repeats, and you will know that the quotient is repeating because you will get the same remainder over and over when you are subtracting. This example is going to be a terminating decimal. You will have other examples that are repeating decimals. So, right, 8 goes into 10 one time. Right, subtract 2, bring down the zeros. 8 goes 16, subtract, bring down the 0. 8 goes into 40 5 times evenly. Subtract 40, you get 0 as your remainder. That means you are done. And that means that 1/8 is equal to 0.125. Right? And that is that.